Hey, what's up? I'm Benji, and this is the top 5 lightest park decks. Okay, in number 1 comes the Pandemonium, the Ethic Pandemonium, and it's an amazing deck. It actually has pretty bad reputation. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people say that they snapped it really quick.
You snap your deck.
Oh my god!
And I'd say that the main reason that it has such bad reputation is because there's so many people buying this deck. It's a really popular deck. So, especially among pros who tend to snap this deck really quick. Since there's so many people buying this deck, there's more people to complain. There's a higher amount of people who has snapped this deck and would complain that this deck, whatever, it's snapped. But with my personal experiences, and I can tell you, I've ridden 2 Ethic Pandemoniums before. One with a ginormous cutout in the middle, and I kid you not. It basically, literally, normal cutouts are like a little bit in the middle, maybe a few circles, whatever. So this one, literally, almost all the way to the edges. Well, literally all the way, as much as you could cut out possibly from the middle, and it did not break. I've ridden it for like over a year, I believe, and eventually it got thrown out by someone because I left it somewhere or whatever. And now I got a new Pandemonium, and it still did not break. I've ridden this one for a year as well, and it's lasted. It seems to be in really good condition. However, there's some tiny cracks here, but I've had this for months, and they don't seem to be getting any bigger, to tell you the truth. So, I don't really know how much of a big deal these tiny cracks are. I don't know if the camera could even see it. Whatever. I doubt the camera could see it, but it's worth a shot. And, so, this is Pandemonium. I think it's a beautiful deck. Has some nice head tube cutouts. This particular one is the 531, which is, I believe, 22 long, and 4.75 wide. I'm not sure about the exact length. I'm gonna put that up on the screen right here. And yeah, it's a beautiful deck. It comes in 3 colorways. It comes in this like regular black, which is what I have, and it comes in shiny black, which is sick. I wish I got that one, honestly. And it also comes in silver, which is what my friend has. And all these, at least with the 22 long, it's lasted me so long. I don't know, maybe people break the 21, but yeah. So that's that, and that's for the Ethic Pandemonium. Oh, and also I forgot to tell you guys, it actually has this beautiful writing. It says Pandemonium right here, and I think it's sick. And it's not scratched up because of me. It's like that's the font, so it's sick. It has like this little Ethic symbol cut out, which is sick. So besides for these 2 tiny cracks right here, I don't see anything on the head tube, honestly. It's really safe, great deck. It's super lightweight. It's amazing. Number 2, the Fusion Entropy deck. So this deck is a very extremely popular deck especially among pros and like just good riders in general. So the stats are, it comes in a few sizes. I'm pretty sure it only comes in 19.5, and it comes in 5 wide and 4.5 wide. So the weight difference between those two, this is actually, according to Fusion, it's really, I don't really trust it though, because okay, I'll just explain at the end of the video why I don't trust it. But the lighter one is 2.5 something pounds, like 2.56 pounds, so it's basically 2.5 pounds. And then the 5 wide is like, according to Fusion, 2.8 or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I'll put it up on the screen. And anyways, so the Fusion Entropy, it comes in I think 3 different colorways. Okay, so one of the reasons why the Fusion Entropy is so good is because it's only 19.5 long, and it feels really good for kicklesses. I don't know why. Maybe. Well, it's not just because 19.5, because I've ridden other decks that were 19.5 and it's not quite as good. But for some reason, the head tube angle and the length makes this deck extremely good for kicklesses, whips, rewinds, all those kinds of tricks. I don't really know about buttercups or overhead so much because I haven't ridden it that much. The Fusion Entropy has this really sick cutout on the bottom. It's like, but it's not actually a cutout because on the top it has like a plate, but it has like this indent thing, whatever, and it has like, it says Fusion on the bottom, which I think is really cool. It's nice and shiny, and yeah, it's a great looking deck, pretty good stats. The only problem is I don't know exactly about the weight, and I'll explain why after. Coming in number 3 would be Core UK 5 wide and the Core UK 4.5 by 19.5 for a little bit of maybe smaller riders. If you're like a little bit of a bigger rider like me, I'm 6 foot tall, so you probably want, and size shoe like 11, so you probably want like a little bit of a wider deck, you know, just so you don't have toe drag and heel drag. So this is the Core UK 5 wide, which I think is a great feeling deck, and it has these 4 hole cutouts in it, and has this head tube cutout, which is pretty cool. It comes in a few different colorways, and it like has this like thing at the bottom. I don't know how well you can see, whatever. And it's a great feeling deck. It feels super strong. It looks amazing, and the only problem is it's a little bit on the not as light side, surprisingly. So it's like 3.20 to 3.40 pounds around. This is including the grip tape. So that's why I measured it with the grip tape. So it might be like 3.15 without, or 3.5 or something like that. And I measured it with the hardware and the grip tape. So that's the full weight of this deck. And it's 5 wide by 20. So it's pretty good for whips and kicklesses. It whips a little bit faster than the Pandemonium. I'll tell you that because it's a little bit shorter than it. At least the Pandemonium that I have. And so I actually got this deck, and it came on the exact day that I got injured. It actually came in only one day, even though I ordered it from the UK. So because it's the Core UK deck, and I live in New Jersey, USA. So I was really surprised, but it came on the exact day I got injured, so I actually never got to ride this deck, even though I've had it for 2 weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks. But doing motions with it, it feels great. So that's the Core UK SL Park deck. And then they also have the smaller one, which is lighter, 2.88 pounds, which is really good. Okay, coming in at number 4, we have the Lucky Prospect deck. This is a great looking deck. Actually, all of these decks, in my opinion, are great looking decks. There is some ugly decks in the world, believe it or not, but this is not one of them. So the head tube design is pretty basic. It's just pretty much straight, but the graphic on the bottom of the design is really cool. It has a wave design. You guys can check it out for yourselves. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. And so the Lucky Prospect comes at 4.8 wide and 19.5 long, weighing at only 2.75 pounds, which is really light for a park deck. And it's only $130, so decently good for a park deck. So I've actually never heard anything bad about the Lucky Prospect. It looks like a really strong deck. I would get the Lucky Prospect. I put it on my setup. I think it looks great. And that's the Lucky Prospect. So this is a very interesting deck because it's very interesting. It's a very rare deck to see at the skate park. I've actually never seen anyone riding this deck. And I've personally never rode it, but it comes in 4.9 wide by 19.5 or 21. I'm not exactly sure how heavy the 21 is, but the 19.5 one is 2.75 pounds, which is really light especially for a deck that's 4.9 wide. So that's almost 5 wide. That's really good. And the looks of this deck, it's pretty basic. It's a pretty okay looking deck. But you can judge for yourself. Look at the pictures of the deck. Drone Shadow right here. That's what it should look like. Okay, so let me explain why I don't trust scooter companies. So a lot of scooter companies like to actually cheat on weight. They actually lie, straight up lie about the weight on the website. For instance, this deck, they said on the Core UK deck, this is a Core UK scooter deck, and on the Core UK website, they said that this deck is 1.3 kilograms, which is 2.88 pounds. And I bought the deck, and I had on my scooter, whatever. And just before the video, I actually weighed it on a food scale, and it is actually not 2.88 pounds, which is a straight up lie, because I looked at the other one, the 19.5 one at 4.5, and it also said 1.3 kilograms. So what the hell is going on here? Why are they both the same weight? One's obviously smaller, so I'm like, okay, there's something up with this. So I weighed it, and it is indeed not 2.88 pounds. It is 3.20 or 3.40 around, something around that. I believe 3.20, but that's with the grip tape. But still, even let's say without the grip tape, maybe a little bit over 3 pounds. So yes, that is a straight up lie, and I've had experiences with other parts that were also straight up lied to about. There is some companies which are trustworthy. For instance, the Honeycore wheel is 200 grams, and it is indeed 200 grams. I weighed it. Usually, a lot of times when you get the weight from the actual company, surprisingly, it's not the accurate weight, because they like to try to say, it's a little bit lighter, whatever. The shops will give you a more accurate weight, and also it can be confusing when you see it says the weight, but it doesn't really say with or without the hardware. So they could trick you on that too. So they could weigh the deck and they'll say this is two. Let's say this is a different deck. Let's say this is a 2.75 pound deck, and it actually is 3 pounds, and you're like, what the hell? Why is it 2.75? They took off the brake, they took off the axles, they shaved the metal down. No, I'm kidding, they didn't do that. But they basically try to make it as light as possible and then round it down, every corner that they could possibly cut, they cut, and then maybe even like a little bit of a lie, oh, it's 2.9, 9 is really 8, whatever, like they try to pull some bullshit like that on you. So that's really why I don't trust the actual companies. But you could, the best thing to do really is just to weigh yourself. That way you can get the most accurate thing. But if you don't buy the scooter part yet and you want to look into it, you could just call let's say you call the Vault Pro Scooters. They're very helpful. They'll tell you the exact weight because they actually have a scale and they actually weigh these things. Or let's say you already called the Vault like 10 times and you don't want to bug them again. Call Broadway Pro Scooters or Cryptic Pro Scooters or some other scooter shop that could help you, Or if you don't live in America, call, I don't know what UK scooter shops are there. Rip Knees, I don't know, whatever you guys have. So they have that. And yeah, I think that's the video, guys. 5 light scooter parts, 5 light scooter decks. Okay, peace out.